Yes. Okay. So the first few lines, first few parts, the little part here, okay, is the textbook did not say something about this, okay, say anything about this, and then I would like to add this part back, okay, because it is quite useful, okay, when you are calculating some complicated imaginary numbers, okay. I would like you to copy the following things down, okay. I, so it is about the powers of I, the powers of I, okay. So I to the power 1, okay, is just I. Okay, so that is very obvious. And then if I multiply another I, multiply the I to both sides, okay, then the left hand side, I will express the left hand side as a power of I, okay. I will not simplify the left hand side, but I will simplify the right hand side. The left hand side is I square because we multiply one more power of I to the left hand side, okay? And of course, the right hand side is also I square, but I will simplify the right hand side. It is equal to -1, right? Because we know that I square is always changed to -1. All right? Okay, and then the story goes on. If I multiply another I to both sides of the equation, okay, multiply the other I, then the left hand side becomes I3, I to the power 3. And the right hand side, I'm going to use -1 times I. It becomes -I. Okay? And I do it again. Multiply another I to both sides of the equation. Then I to the power 4 is equal to -I times I. That is -I square. But what is -I square? I square should be changed to -1. So it is negative of -1. So it becomes +1. Okay? So I have got +1 when I come up to power 4 of the I. Okay? And if I continue the story, then that will be like this. Let me clear this part first. If I continue the story, if I multiply another I, it becomes, so this is I4 is equal to 1, right? Okay. And then multiply another I to both sides of the equation, I got I5. And then right hand side, 1 times I is just I. Okay. And then the other I, it becomes I6. And then the other I times I, it becomes I square again. Okay. But I square will be changed, immediately changed to -1. Okay. And then I7 will be -1 times I, becomes -I. Okay. Finally, I8, it becomes -I times I, becomes -I square. And again, I will change it to negative of -1. It becomes +1 again. Okay. So what I'm going to say is that there's a pattern. Can you see that there's a pattern here? And it is a pattern of 4, okay? Groups of 4. When you loop the powers of I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on, okay? Then the value, so when you simplify the I power, the values will be following a certain pattern, okay? It is looping and looping again and again, okay? So it is like this. I1 is I. I2 is -1. I3 is -I. Sorry. is negative I. And then I4 is equal to 1. And I5 becomes I again. I6 becomes negative 1 again. I7 becomes negative I again. And then I8 becomes 1 again. Okay? So, normally, in the multiple choice questions, the question will ask you to find, for example, I to the power 2020. Okay? So if I ask you to calculate I to the power 2020, then you just count, okay, which step in the pattern does it stop? Okay? So if it is a multiple of 4, then you will get the value to be exactly equal to 1. It's okay? And then one step after the multiple of 4, then you'll get an I. 2 steps after the multiple of 4, then you will get negative 1. 3 steps after the multiple of 4, then you will get negative I. 4 steps after the multiple of 4, that is another multiple of 4. Okay, so that will be equal to 1. 即係話咧，呢個 I 嘅次方咧，其實就係4個一個循環嘅。你一路數落去 ，I 一次就係 I 二次就係負1 ，I 三次就係負 I 四次就係正1。然之後咧，4次完之後咧，第5次咧又會翻去第1次嗰個數值嗰度嘅噃。OK， 即係變翻做 I 啦 ，I 5次即係等於 I 嘅啫 ，I 6次即係同 I 2次係一樣係嘛 ？OK，I 7次就係同 I 3次係一樣嘅 ，I 8次就係同 I 4次係一樣嘅，4個一個 pattern，4個一個 pattern，OK， 4個一個循環，4個一個循環咁樣。咁如果佢問你 I to the power 2020， so you just need to find the multiple of 4, okay? Whether it is a multiple of 4. We know that I to the power 2020 is actually equal to I to the power 4 to the power 505. Okay? So we can still use the laws of indexes here. Then, because we know that I to the power 4 is exactly equal to 1. Okay? 1, which means that this becomes 1 to the power 505. But any power of 1 is just equal to 1. Okay? So I to the power 2020 is exactly equal to 1. Just like this. Okay? But if it is not a multiple of 4, then what shall we do? We are going to do it like this. So let me clear this part. If it is, for example, if I ask you to find I to the power 579, okay, 579, then you'll find out the last multiple of 4 before 579， 即係579之前嘅一個4嘅倍數。OK。嗱，你諗一諗啦，即係其實咧579，你喺度數579，數到幾多個4嘅循環咧？數到幾多個咧？應該咧咁樣嘅 ，It should be 576 plus 3. Okay, 576 is a multiple of 4， 即係4嘅倍數啊。Okay, but we can split this to be like this. I3, right? According to the laws of indexes. And then 576 can be written as 4 times 144, and then times I to the power 3. Okay? And we know that I to the power 4 will be equal to 1. Okay? So 1 to the power 144 is just equal to 1. You can just ignore this part. So what is essential here is I to the power 3. Okay, but we know that I to the power 3 is the third in the pattern. Okay, it's the third term in the pattern. It should be the blue one. Okay, red, yellow, blue, green. The third term in the pattern should be the blue one. So finally, it should be equal to negative I. OK， 得唔得？即係你數一數咧，究竟佢係4個循環之後 ，OK 數晒4個循環啦，剩翻幾多？佢係第幾個咧？579，其實就係144個循環之後 ，OK 數咗576次啦，跟住第577、578、579，咁就係一路咧去到第3個位嗰度啦，成個循環嘅第3個位嗰度啦。第3個位，咁你要記嘅咧就係紅黃藍綠呢4個 values 係幾多 ？OK， I1、I2、I3、I4。The values are I, -1, -I and +1。OK， 咁你最終咧一定會翻去咧，紅黃藍綠呢4個裏邊嘅其中一個嘅，得唔得？呢度 OK， so that is the extra thing I would like to teach you。OK， 嗱呢度咧佢。之後咧，我哋可能會有啲嘅題目咧，係會用到呢樣嘢嘅噃。OK， 咁所以呢度咧都即係記一記先啊。如果你未明呢一 part 嘅，唔係太緊要住。OK， 你淨係記咗呢4個 pattern 先，得唔得 ？I1 至到 I4 化簡咗之後，會變成咩 values 嘅 ？OK， 記咗呢個 pattern 先，陣間我會用到嘅，一定會用到嘅。OK。All right, so let's go back to the textbook, page 14. Page 14. So let me go back to the textbook and clear this. Yes. Okay. So it is page 14, and we are going to do many calculations. Among the complex numbers. We need to add 2 complex numbers together, or subtract, or multiply, and divide. Okay? For the I number, you just see this as some variables, just like x. Okay? If you have like terms, you can add the like terms together or subtract the like terms together. Okay? But what is in extra, you need to remember, is that I square is equal to -1. Okay? So this is the only extra thing you need to remember. Okay, when you are doing the calculations among the complex numbers. Okay? 好，嗱呢啲咧，呢一個表嗰啲，其實即係咩咧？其實即係 laws of index 裏邊嘅嘢嚟嘅啫。我唔咁樣，即係我唔用一個好似公式啊、教條咁樣咧，去到教你哋啦。咁我用啲 example 咧，去到一路同你哋講，得唔得？我哋即係就算我哋唔知道呢個表咧，其實我哋都會好自然係會咁樣做嘅。OK， 除咗 I 2次等於-1呢一樣嘢之外 ，OK 呢一樣嘢係唔係好自然嘅，得唔得？其他我哋嘅做法咧都係好自然嘅，所以唔使睇嗰啲咩 property 咧。都會咁做嘅 ，OK？ 好啦，我哋睇下點樣做咯，即係啲數啊。Let's go to example 3. Example 3. Simplify the following expressions. OK？ 嗱，我咁樣做一次啊，即係我揞住 solution 先。Part A. 5 times I plus 2I. OK? So when you see that we have I plus 2I, adding 2 I terms together, and they are like terms, okay? Just like x plus 2x, and then you can add them together, becomes 3x, or 3I here. It's okay? Remember, I terms are like terms. They can be added together, okay? And then 5 times 3I. You just multiply their numbers together. 5 times 3 becomes 15. I. Okay, so that is the final answer. Just check whether you have I square or I3, I4 or not. Okay, if it is just I terms, it can be in the answer. Okay, in part B, we have 3I plus 4I times 3I minus 4I. Okay, and within the first bracket, we have two like terms adding together, 3I plus 4I. It becomes 7I, right? Okay, and then for the second bracket, 3I minus 4I, and we have negative 1I, or just negative I is okay. All right, 咁你負 I 或者寫負1 I 咧都冇乜所謂嘅。And then these two brackets are multiplying together. Then we will multiply their numbers together, and we will multiply their i's together separately. Okay, for the numbers, we have 7 times negative 1. It becomes negative 7. And then for the I terms, we have I times I. It becomes I square. Okay, I square. But this cannot be the answer, because whenever you see I square, you need to change the I square to be negative 1. So it becomes negative 7 times negative 1. Okay, so negative 7 times negative 1 becomes double negative. Double negative becomes positive. It becomes positive 7. So that is the answer of part B. Okay, and then for part C, we have 2I cubed times 6I. Okay, so there is no adding, no subtraction, no addition, and no subtraction in this calculation. So we just multiply them together. When we multiply these two things together, we multiply the numbers together, and we multiply the I together. Okay, for the numbers, we have 2 times 6 becomes 12. Or we have I cubed times I. 好啦，嗱呢個咧 I 3次方乘 I， 咁咧大家都係 I 嘅次方係乘得埋一齊嘅。咁我哋根據 laws of indexes， 即係次方相加啦。Okay, 3 plus 1. Okay, for the powers, it becomes 3 plus 1 becomes I4. Okay, but when you see a power of I, you need to change. Okay, according to the pattern. I1 is I2 is negative 1, I3 is negative I, and then I4 is exactly equal to positive 1. So it is just 12. It's okay. And then part D, we have 12I to the power 5 over 3I squared. Again, there is no addition and no subtraction, so we will do the number and we will do the I separately. Okay, for the number, we have 12 over 3. And then for the I's, we have I5 over I2. 嗱，如果啲同學咧，即係可以跳到 step 嘅，就跳。咁但係我喺堂上邊咧，特別喺 Zoom 嘅時候咧，我希望講得仔細少少嘅。OK， 希望大家唔好嫌我沉啊，暫時啊。但係去到即係面授翻返去復課嘅時候咧，咁先至再快少少咁樣樣。OK， 咁希望所有同學咧都可以跟到嘅。咁我會盡量講得詳細少少啲 steps 咁樣樣。咁啊你哋如果係可以跳到 steps 嘅話咧，咁就跳咗佢都得㗎啦。即係一啲計算嘅 step 咧，完全可以跳嘅。即係好似呢題咁樣咧，你就算一嘢寫個答案嘅話咧，我都會俾滿分你㗎啦。OK。12 over 3 is 4. And then I5 over I2, division means subtraction of indexes. 次方相減係嘛？ So I5 minus 2 becomes I3. But don't stop here because I3 cannot be in the answer. We need to follow the pattern. Okay, the third term should be negative I. Okay, so finally it should be negative 4I. Just like this. It's okay. 好，呢度想你俾個反應我。Okay, if you are okay for this example, please give me a like or a clap. Okay, if you are okay for this example, please give me a like or a clap. 如果 OK 嘅呢一題啊，請你俾一個 like 或者俾一個 拍手掌我得唔得 ？OK， 如果有任何一 part 唔 OK 嘅，舉一舉手俾我睇。有任何一 part 唔 OK 嘅，可唔可以舉一舉手？然之後話俾我聽，有冇邊一度係需要講多一次嘅咁樣樣？好，冇啦。Okay, now I would like you to try to do the classwork. Okay, so that is the instant drill. So let me clear the board first. The next page. So please do the instant drill number 3. Instant drill number 3 and submit it to the MathApp web system. So I'll give you 5 minutes for this instant drill. So this is on page, where's the page? Let me see, page 15. So I give you 5 minutes.嗱，我會即刻睇翻你哋交出嚟嗰啲嘅答案啊。咁如果見到你有錯嘅話咧，我就會喺私聊個 chat room 裏邊啊，私聊你哋嘅。OK，咁所以留意 chat room。 陳曉晴可能要再交過，陳曉晴睇唔到你嗰個，可能你要落 out 咗再落 in 多一次。OK， 好啦，大部分都交咗啦，我都未必睇得晒咁多同學啊，咁我就喺度對咗先啦，好嘛 ？OK 嗱，慢慢嚟啊，即係有啲可能數學唔係咁強或者計得唔係咁快嘅同學咧，慢慢嚟，我哋喺啲即係開頭嗰啲階段咧，我哋打好個基礎先，唔好心急啊。OK， Part A -4 times 4i minus i。嗱，呢一度咧留意喎，我見到有啲同學咧係拆咗括號先嘅，唔係唔得，但係咧，我想你哋建立咗一個習慣，即係就算係計啱嘅同學或者計唔啱嘅同學，都希望有呢個習慣。叻嘅同學或者係冇咁叻嘅同學咧，都有呢個習慣。你見到括號裏邊加減嗰兩個 terms 係 like terms 嘅話咧，請你化簡咗個 like term 先。Okay, what I mean is the -4 should be copied, okay, remains unchanged. Because we have realized that the 4i minus i are like terms. They can be calculated inside the bracket, okay? It can be simplified to be 3i first, okay? And then after simplifying the 3i, then we just multiply the -4 by the 3. It becomes -12i. That is the answer. And then part B, also the same. We have 2i minus 3i times 2i plus 3i. Because in the first bracket, we see that 2i and 3i are like terms, okay? 2i and 3i are like terms. So they can be calculated. It becomes -1i or just -i. And then 2i plus 3i, 2i plus 3i will be 5i. 5i. Okay? And then we just multiply the numbers together, -5. And we have I times I becomes I square. Okay, but don't stop here, because don't forget to change the I square to be -1. -5 times -1, it becomes +5. So that's the answer. Okay, and then part C. Part C. 好，借咗條先啦。Part C. 7i times 2i to the power 3. So this time there is no plus, no minus. So we just multiply the numbers together. 7 times 2 is 14. And then I times I3 becomes I4. Okay, but don't stop here, because you need to simplify the I4. Okay, so I4 is equal to 1. And then finally, it is 14. 14 times 1 is 14. All right, and then part D, 15i4 divided by -5i. And again, we do the numbers and the I terms separately. 15 over -5 and I4 over I. Okay, becomes -3, and then it is I3. But I3 should not be the answer. We need to change the I3 to be the third term in the pattern. It becomes -I. Okay, and then -3 times -I becomes double negative. Double negative becomes positive. Positive what? We have 3 and we have I. Okay, so that is the final answer. 得唔得 ？OK, next. 好啦，呢度原來講咗嘅，書都有講嘅，即係 I1、I2、I3、I4、I5、I6、I7、I8，係嘛？係4個 pattern 嚟嘅。講緊嘅係呢度啊。OK, so this part is what I have talked about at the beginning of this lesson about the patterns of I. Okay. Okay, next page. My next page, sorry. And then Kingston. Yes. No. Example 4. Example 4. Okay. We're still on this page. Example 4. 好啦，呢度咧留意啦，呢個咧即係比較容易錯嘅，通常呢啲同學。Okay. So let me cover this first. Part A. If you find square root of negative number, okay, we need to change it to be in terms of I, just like what we have done yesterday. Okay, do you remember this? -25 should be written as 25 times -1. Okay, and then square root of -16 becomes 16 times -1. And then we split the square roots into two parts. Square root 25 times square root of -1 minus square root of 16 times square root of -1. Okay, and then square root of 25 becomes 5. And square root of -1 becomes I. Minus square root 16 becomes 4. And then it is also I. And now you find that it is a like term, 5i and 4i. So they can be calculated. So 5x minus 4x is just 1x. Okay, so 5i minus 4i is just 1i. Or we just write I as the answer. It's okay? 好啦，嗱呢度咧，我想你打星落去啊。Okay, please put a star on part B. Put a star on part B. OK， 呢度有個位咧，我哋要非常之小心嘅。OK， 咁係咩咧？記住喎。嗱，我講嘅錯嘅先啊，錯嘅。sorry， 有咩係錯嘅咧？就係 negative 9 times square root of negative 9 times square root of negative 4. Can we merge the two square roots together? Can we merge them together? It becomes square root of 36, which is 6. This is not correct. Okay, not correct, not correct, not correct. Okay, we cannot merge the negative square roots together. OK， 如果開方裏邊係有負數，另外開方裏邊都係有負數嘅話咧，我哋唔能夠做其他嘢嘅，一定要將佢轉做 i 幾多個 i 幾多 i 咁樣先嘅。開方裏邊有負數，一定要將佢轉做 i 嘅 terms 先嘅。OK， 即係點樣啊？即係咁啦。OK， square root of negative 9 times square root of negative 4. Again, we need to change it to like this. 4 times negative 1. It becomes square root of 9 times square root negative 1 times square root of 4 times square root of negative 1. And then 3i times 2i, right? Okay, so we have 3 times 2 becomes 6. And then I times I becomes I squared. But I squared will be changed to negative 1. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. That is the final answer. It's okay? And up. All right, so I would like you to do the instant drill number 4 now. Instant drill number 4, okay? 3 minutes here. 陳正南我都係兩個 file 都睇唔到你嘅，陳正南，你可能要log out 咗再 log in 多一次啦。曾嘉琳喺咪度啊？曾嘉琳
喺度。
你交唔交到？交唔交到？
喺度，喂。
係你交唔交到上去個 Math App 嗰度啊？你因為今日好似你未交到嘅，今日你上次交到嘅好似，你試一試啊！
咩啊？聽唔到。
你試一試睇下交唔交到上去嗰個 Math App 嗰度，好唔 OK？
咩啊
？Okay, let's check the answers. Part A. So it becomes like this. Okay. Square root 49 times square root -1 minus square root -1 is 7i minus I. They are like terms, so they can be calculated. Becomes 6i. Okay, answer of part A is 6i. And then part B. Okay, both of them are square root of negative number. So you just need to change it to be in terms of I. Okay, square root 4 times square root -1 times square root 100 times square root of -1. So it is 2i times 10i. 2 times 10 is 20. And then I times I is I squared. But don't stop here because you need to change the I squared to be -1. Okay, so it is 20 times -1. It becomes -20. Okay, so this is instant rule number 4. Oh, 得唔得？ Okay, next page。好啦，嗱，跟住咧，其實咧，我哋要做嘢咧就係好顯淺嘅啫。加數、減數、乘數都係好直觀嘅。OK， 好直觀嘅，即係同我哋嗰啲x 啊、y 啊、a 啊、b 啊一樣嘅啫，得唔得？咁只不過咧，乘數嗰度咧，你就要即係記得乘完之後，如果有 I square 嘅話咧，就變翻做-1咁樣樣。OK， 好啦，嗱我直接叫你做 classwork 先啦，好嘛 ？OK， 你拆括好小心啲。Let's do the instant rule number 5 and number 6。OK， 做到呢兩個先 ，number 5 and number 6。You just like they are calculating the like terms, simplifying the like terms。OK， 因為咧，如果就咁加數同埋減數嘅話咧，咁就唔會有 square 出現嘅，得唔得？我呢度俾4分鐘你做啦。Okay, let's give you 4 minutes to do the instant rule number 5 and number 6 first. And then we'll check the answers.蕭卓林我都係睇唔到你嗰個你交嘅嘢嘅，蕭卓林。
係之前嗰啲睇唔到，定係淨係今次睇唔
到？今次呢3題你交咗嗰3題都未睇到，你可能要 lock out 咗再 lock in 過啦。睇下先啊，你之前嗰啲。之前咧，你第一份 classwork 嗰啲咧，交咗5題裏邊咧有3題睇到嘅，有2題睇唔到嘅。
即係今次 Drill 3去到 Drill 5都睇唔到。
係啊，冇錯冇錯。你可能要 resubmit 過啦，咁樣樣。
好。
OK。你要 lock out 咗先，再 lock in 過，咁樣樣。
好。老 Sir， 我係科 A 25，跟住我交咗，即係我 resubmit 咗，但係佢都係好似之前咁樣有個問號喺度咯，我自己都睇
唔到喎，係咪啊？我而家都係未睇到喎。你嗰啲係咪？你講啊。
我 lock out 過，跟住再入翻去再 resubmit， 但係都係唔得咯。
OK， 你嗰啲係咪肯定係 image 嘅格式嚟嘅？
係啊，我係手機影咗張相，跟住然後
咁樣啊？嗱，我唔緊要嗱，我陣間咧即係落咗堂，我幫你睇一睇喺個 server 嗰度咧，應該睇下揾到你嗰啲嘅相片啊咁樣樣 ，O 唔 OK？咁但係唔緊要，你而家就即係照做住先咁樣樣 ，O 唔 OK？
好，唔該。
OK。Okay, let's check the answers. instant truth number 5.我都再講多一句，唔好嫌我沉啊！因為我唔知道，冇教過大家，咁就唔知道大家嗰啲數學程度係好啊，定係可能都有啲參差咁樣樣。咁所以我都係盡量咧detail 少少先 ，OK， 唔好嫌我沉啊！希望冇咁叻嗰啲同學咧都可以跟到晒啊 ，OK，we need to remove the brackets and we need to check whether it is a positive bracket or a negative bracket. Okay, so whether it is adding together or subtracting together. Okay, there for the first bracket, there is nothing before the bracket, so it is a positive bracket. And then we just remove the bracket and copy everything inside. And then the second one, we are adding the second bracket, so it is also a positive bracket. So we just copy the signs, okay? Positive 1 minus 8i, okay? And then we group the like terms together. I mean, we calculate the like terms. 咁我通常咧都唔再寫多一行咧，就係咩負3加1擺埋一齊咁樣噶啦。咁你自己咧即係睇到就 OK 啦。加 4i 減 8i 兩個即係呢兩組嘅 like terms， OK？ Negative 3 plus 1 becomes negative 2, and then plus 4i minus 8i. Like terms, so minus 4i. And that is the answer. Okay? And then part B. 1 plus 4i minus 2 plus 5i. First bracket is a positive bracket. So we just remove the bracket like this. But the second bracket is a minus negative bracket. So we need to change the sign inside the bracket. The 2 becomes minus 2, and then plus 5i becomes minus 5i. Okay? And then we need to add the like terms together. 1 and negative 2 are like terms. Plus 4i minus 5i are like terms. Okay? 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Plus 4i minus 5i becomes minus 1i, or just minus i. Like this. Is all right? Okay. Next. 嗱，如果我拆咗之後你未抄完嘅話，記得即刻話俾我聽，我可以 undo 翻俾你嘅，但係就唔好太遲啊。Okay, next one. 如果有啲同學覺得我講得快嘅就話俾我聽，即刻 stop 我啊 ，OK？ 可以慢啲嘅，我哋唔係好趕進度啊，而家得唔得？最緊要大家係明白嘅，係好沉啊。Number 6, instant truth number 6。咁啊3嚿嘢相加相減嘅啫，呢個即係多少少嘅啫，我哋都係咁做。OK, negative 2 plus i plus 5 minus 6i minus 7 minus 3i. Okay, the first step is to remove the bracket. Okay, and we just check whether it is a positive bracket or a negative bracket. First bracket is positive, so it's just negative 2 plus i. Just copy everything inside. Okay, and then the second bracket is also a positive bracket, so we just copy everything inside. So this is plus 5 minus 6i. But the third bracket is a negative bracket, so we need to change the sign to be the opposites inside the bracket. 7 becomes minus 7. Minus 3i becomes plus 3i, like this. Okay, and then we check the like terms. Negative 2 plus 5 minus 7 becomes negative 4, right? And then plus I minus 6i plus 3i. Like terms becomes minus 2i. So that is the answer. So it is in the form of a plus bi, right? A plus bi. Okay, and then part B. So 8 plus 9i minus 3 plus I plus 1 minus 4i. Again, remove the bracket. First one is a positive bracket. Second one is negative bracket. So it's minus 3 minus I. And then positive bracket like this. And then calculate the like terms. 8 minus 3 plus 1 becomes 6. And then the second group plus 9i minus 4i becomes plus 4i. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, so that is like this. 得唔得？有冇同學跟唔到呢度？跟唔到嘅俾個反應我。So if you cannot follow, please tell me. 好 good。好啦，嗱，輕鬆簡單嘅過去咗啦，跟住咧都要有啲功夫要做嘅，跟住啊，加數減數都冇問題啦，乘法又點樣咧 ？OK， 如果兩個complex number 相乘 ，so now we are going to handle the multiplication between complex numbers. Okay, but it is just like distributing the bracket, removing the brackets. Okay. OK 咩啊？落堂啦咩？唔係。OK multiplication OK 好啦，即係拆括號嘅啫，拆括號得唔得？咁咧如果大家識得拆括號嘅話咧，咁呢度就好容易。不過只不過要記得翻咧，就係、是、如果你有 i 2次，臨尾要轉翻做負1，就係咁。OK， so part A。I times 3 minus 4i. Just 3i minus 4i square. And then the I square is changed to -1. And then 3i plus 4. Or you will write 4 plus 3i because it is in the form of a plus bi. Okay? Just like this. And then part B is 2 plus I times 4 plus 7i. Okay. So it is 2 times 4 is 8 plus 14i plus 4i plus 7i square. So we have like terms. 8 plus 14i plus 4i is 18i. And then the I square is changed to -1. Okay? So it is 8 plus 18i minus 7. And then 8 minus 7 is 1 plus 18i. So that is how we can do the simplification for the multiplying complex numbers. Okay? 好啦，嗱 C part 同埋 D part 咧，其實都係一樣嘅，但係咧你要記得嗱有3條 identities， 我哋喺呢個 Form 4、Form 5、Form 6不斷咁樣用㗎啦。OK， 就係呢3條，你而家咧請你抄低佢，咁樣啦 ，A plus B bracket square is A square plus 2AB plus B square. And then A minus B bracket square is A square minus 2AB plus B square. And then A plus B times A minus B is A square minus B square. Okay, so it is like this. Okay. 今日係早放啊，原來。
星期五啊。
係放幾點㗎 ？Sorry。死啦！我要睇一睇先。
40分上堂，然後55分落堂。
咦？咁我咪遲咗上堂啊？頭先。
係啊。
係啊，冇人揾到嘅。
有啊，有人揾你啊，個個入晒嚟之後，你唔喺度咯。
誒，對唔住啊！我以為都係2點鐘上堂添。去到即係2點55分係嘛 ？OK。
係啊。
哦 ，sorry， 對唔住，我睇錯時間啊。咁如果咁嘅話咧，我哋而家就我哋下個禮拜先再講啦，好冇？ OK。嗱，我咧俾咗一份功課嘅，我俾一份功課嘅，咁就下個禮拜二交嘅，下禮拜二，咁就但係咧我未交晒，因為我頭先即係睇錯時間啊，唔好意思啊，咁我睇未交晒嘅，咁我哋就淨係做咗咧即係加減同埋乘法先，除法嗰度咧，如果你識做嘅可以做埋佢，如果唔識做嘅話咧，咁就可以等我下個禮拜一教完先至再做咁樣樣，好唔 OK？得唔得？Okay, so I have assigned a homework for you, but I didn't finish what I want to teach today, and so you just need to do the addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Okay, so please hand in on Tuesday, and I have already put in the homework platform here. Okay, and you need to submit to the MedApp web system again. So I'm sorry about my time management, okay? And then I will continue next week, okay? So this is the end of this lesson. Thank you. You may leave now.
Mr. Lu,
Hi. Yes.
so yesterday you taught us like question 22 and 23, right? And then in the homework you told us to submit. So should we submit or not?
In this, which homework?
Yesterday, exercise 1A and then question number 22 and 23.
Yes.
You
Oh.
taught us and then we have to give it. Do we have to give it? Do we have to submit?
Yes. This is the classwork, and normally I also expect you to submit to the MedApp web system, okay? But I'm not going to mark the classwork, okay? But I just want to see whether you have done the classwork and whether you have made mistake in the classwork. If you made mistake, then I can teach you immediately. It's okay.
Oh.
But if
Okay.
it has been passed, okay, this passed already. So I won't check the past classwork anymore. You understand? But if you want to keep a record, then you just submit to the MedApp web system, because I will organize the knowledge by topics and by skills to you later. It's okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.